Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Generator Founder Series Spotlight. I'm Troy Vossler, co-founder of Generator, and today I am joined by Dr. Valencia Belle, the founder and CEO of Schools. Welcome, Dr.
Yes.
Bell.
Thank you so much for the invitation.
Well, thanks for being on. To kick things off, please introduce yourself and your company and tell us what Schools is.
Yes, so my name is Dr. Valencia Belle. I am the founder and CEO of Schools. Schools is an acronym for success can happen out of low scores. And we are the state of Alabama's first BIPOC female-led benefit corporation. We do test prep for social justice. We raise ACT scores 5 to 10 points and SAT scores 100 to 200 points in as little as 5 weeks at a tenth of the cost of the national vendors.
Wow, pretty incredible outcomes. And I'm sure that's rewarding work for you and your team as well.
Absolutely.
What is the company's current status, whether that's traction or revenue or customers or fundraising, however you want to define that, what's the company's current status?
Sure. So we measure our success by social impact. First of all, we've helped 300,000 students earn $300 million in scholarships, but more importantly, that's $300 million of debt that they didn't take out from student loans. We also look at our traction financially. We 3X'd. We bootstrapped this company. We haven't taken any venture yet, but we are about to. And we've gotten at least $1.4 million in sales since we moved from a consulting company in 2021 to an LLC. And now we are a C Corp as of January 1st of this year.
Wow, 300 million in scholarship, or as you put it, keeping people out of debt is really incredible. So congratulations on that.
Thank you.
Where is the company located?
We're actually located in Mobile, Alabama. The joke is it's in Lower Alabama, my LA. I actually got my doctorate from the University of Southern California, so that's my other LA. But yes, we are located in Mobile, Alabama, right in the middle on I-10.
I like it. And why Mobile or why Alabama?
Actually, people do not realize that Silicon Valley and Mobile started at the same time. We have the people, the places, and the production. And so for me, being in a place that has rail, it also has, air, we've got all these different things at the price that it is and the tech that we have. It was just a great place for me. I'm born here. But it's really good to know that I don't have to work with someone in Thailand in order to get my SaaS product done. I can actually just drive down the street and work with someone right in my backyard.
That's wonderful. Which generator program did you go through and when?
I went through gBETA, the very first inaugural gBETA Gulf Coast
Nice.
about a year ago, and game changer for me because going from a consulting company to becoming a CEO was quite the journey for me. We had gotten awards from Harvard and MIT and the Wharton Business School and USC, but I think that people really didn't take the time to realize that as a founder, there were so many other things that I needed to learn to become a business CEO. And Generator was a game changer for me. Just learning acronyms like SOM and TAM, being able to know my numbers and articulate that to investors, but also just giving me the confidence to be able to share my why, my way. I think that there's so many people I have to thank for Generator, like Nate helping me to get my pitch deck where I needed to be, and Rochelle was just saying, you can scale globally, even if you have this great MVP. Don't be afraid of moving out. And so, I mean, I'm forever grateful to Generator. It's the reason that I 3X right afterwards.
It's great to hear. And we appreciate the shout outs to Rochelle and Nate. We'll make sure to
For
pass
sure.
that.
Absolutely.
How would you say the accelerator helped you the most?
I would say the most was in doing my 5-year plan. Because as a consultant, we were just taking in business from all over the place. I mean, as it came, we took. It was like drinking out of fire hydrant. For me, sitting down with the Generator staff and looking at, Valencia, do you really want it to stay as a one-to-one or do you want it to be a one-to-many? And that was something I hadn't really thought about because as a consultant, one-to-one is how we do things. One-to-many in my mind was, having a WebEx or I never even thought about having a SaaS product or doing a subscription-based model for multi-year contracts. And so just the perspective of the not only the mentors that I had, but the perspective of the people within Generator to connect me with other people within Generator. Have you thought about this? Have you met this founder? It created a great network for me of people who had already, it was like living autobiographies, people who had already walked the walk, who were talking the talk that I could actually talk to. So that was a game changer as well for me.
I love to hear it. Uh, what advice do you have for entrepreneurs and founders that are considering an accelerator program?
I would definitely say to make sure that you're ready to accelerate. I had no earthly idea the kind of response that I was going to get when I took my MVP and placed it in the right product mix with the right group of people who could understand my story. I was very adamant about not changing my why. I'm a big fan of Simon Sinek and Chickamahaya, believing in going for your why and following your flow. What Generator did for me was actually make me be able to share what I was doing in a package that people could understand. It wasn't so big and so great. It's like, oh, she's not just trying to change the world. She literally has a product that she's selling. And then divorce that from me, the person, from me, the founder. So that process actually happened during my gBETA time where people were actually like, oh no, we're not buying Valencia. And that was the good thing for my company because if it was dependent on just me and something happened to me, then people didn't have any real confidence in my product. After gBETA, people understood, no, this is actually a product that she purchased. She just invented it. And that would have never happened without gBETA.
I really like that distinction of, especially you spoke to it earlier about, the process of how do you go from a consulting company where you are the product to, a scalable business with SaaS behind it and really productizing it, still taking credit for the work that you did and the inputs into it, but making it something that's scalable beyond just you, the person.
Yeah, so it became a joke in gBETA. I would say, even though I'm making, the barbecue, I need to know if you're buying the meat or are you buying the sauce? And then they laugh. And I'm
Ooh,
like, I never really thought about how I would make it make sense to people who didn't understand. I was like, if you don't have the meat, you don't have barbecue, but you can buy the sauce if you wanted to as
I
well
love that.
and do your own meat. So that's kind of what my SaaS product is. If you want meat, that's a different vertical. But if you want the
Sure.
sauce, and you have your own platform. That's why we started licensing. We were blessed to, we literally this week signed our hugest partner contract with Empowerly. And so that was another thing that came out of Generator. I never really looked at my product as a companion product to people who are also in that space. So I do test prep, but I don't do college and career readiness in that I don't help students with their essays. I help them try to think about how much school they can purchase with their ACT and SAT score and their grades, but Empowerly actually focused on taking the baton. So I used to run track and ran it professionally. So it was like, for me, it made so much sense. I was like, okay, so I'm the strong third leg. They're going to be the fourth leg to take these kids on home. And so like when that partnership happened, they were like, you can like do all of our test prep. And then once they have 1500s on the SAT, we'll go ahead and get them into Harvard, Yale, Princeton, and the like. And I mean, it's just been amazing. And that would not, my thought process would not have been that way if it had not been for gBETA. I would have been still like, kicking against the closed door because people like, oh, it's just test prep. I was like, no, it's so much more than that. And so people in the space for ed tech, I've learned people who understand the ed sometimes don't understand the tech. And people who are really competent at the tech don't understand the userability of the ed, like what's actually needed. So working with people in that space that understand both, yeah, found my why and my people.
I like it. Tell us about your favorite part of the program, or maybe the favorite connection that you made either during gBETA or after gBETA.
Favorite part was pitching because it wasn't like a big thing that I liked to do before. And I like have really been blessed. I've won 6 pitch competitions nationally since gBETA. So
Wow.
I would say that the pitch coaching that I got was absolutely incredible. I will say like Nate and Rochelle were like two of the most influential people that I met that still keep in touch with me. And it's so crazy that Rochelle is like down here now. Because when I met her, she wasn't down here, she was somewhere else, and then she ended up being here. And such a blessing because I had been blessed to be one of the 23 women in tech for my state, and she just became one of the women in tech this last year. And she just like talked about the same thing, like it's very interesting how Generator weaves this path between people that probably would have never crossed paths before or met, or the synergy that's necessary in order for companies like mine to scale to become the companies that they want to be.
I love it. My last question that I ask each entrepreneur here is if you had one ask for the audience watching this, maybe it's an introduction, it's a customer, a partner, an investor, just general advice, what would your ask be?
My one ask would be that every single person that looked at this video pick one person whose life could change for my product. If everyone did that, whether they were an investor, whether they were a student or an entrepreneur, then I know that the social impact that I'm making is tangible. And so everywhere I go, I either hear people who say, I wish I would have met you 10 years ago and I wouldn't be in so much debt, or we just paid this much money and we didn't get the scores that we wanted. And so now we weren't able to make the college choice. And that is universal. That is when I was in Monterrey, Mexico, when I was here in Alabama, even if I'm in the Philippines, where we have, recently expanded because we took our product and translated it into all these different languages. I think that for me would be the greatest ask. That is where we got all of our business from, is literally from high scores and referrals. And that would bless my business tremendously.
I love it. Well, everyone, you heard that ask. Please follow through on it. The link to schools is in the description below. Feel free to comment or chat or reach out to Dr. Valencia Bell. Thank you so much, founder and CEO of Schools, and wishing you the best of luck. Thank you.
Thank you so much.